Welcome to the Insurance Marketing Brain Dump. My name is Keagan with BriteBee.com, where we help insurance agents get found online. I've got Chris Paradiso here with Paradiso Insurance and Paradiso Presents, where we are helping and teaching insurance agents how to gain more exposure online, how to win online, and many other things.
Good morning, Brain Dump.
Brain Dump. All right. Well, first off, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, and also comment and tell us who is listening. Yeah, tell us who's listening. Then also share this if you don't mind, because this is extremely helpful. We talked about call to actions last time, and so I'm getting all my call to actions in right now.
Let's get them in.
All right, trying to be a good example. So let's get talking about brand. We are still at the Dallas, Germania, Dallas. I don't even know how to say it. I'm saying this all
We're in the
incorrectly.
great state of Texas.
In Texas, and we're at the Paradiso Presents workshop that Germania has sponsored, and they've done a phenomenal job.
Phenomenal. Thank you, Germania, for having us.
World class, and then their agents have been awesome.
Very open-minded, challenging, which has been great, challenging different thoughts. We only get better when we challenge, right?
Yep.
And
yeah, and so we did a ton yesterday on brand, and I mean we beat it. We beat it into them.
we have to. It's a must.
I mean we did hours, and you know we have brought in more exercises on brand than we ever have.
Sure. Let's talk about that.
So I am thoroughly excited to say that we brought in an exercise that it's called Brand Messaging Playbook. And
By
it
who?
is by Selah Hirsch. She is with Pipelime.
That's Pipelime, L-I-M-E. She's phenomenal.
And BriteBee has partnered with her. She's a brand strategist, messaging expert, and she has spent over 2 years creating this brand messaging playbook that takes people through an exercise. It's a very in-depth exercise, and
But it's very well spelled out and very simple to understand.
Very, and it helps people understand their brand, their messaging, their voice, so that when they go and try to create content, whether it's an email campaign, whether it's social media, a video, website, design, whatever it is, they can go back to this. And
It's basically a roadmap. It's a brand roadmap for an agency or any business.
But I think it's so different than our normal just brand guide.
It is. It is. It's drastically different than a
Okay,
brand
so
guide.
you've done some extensive brand guides.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you think the biggest difference is in this?
I think it dives into the soul. I don't know how to put it. It really digs deep into who you are, right?
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite parts is the brand personality, right? We asked each and every one of these members for 6 different characteristics, right?
Right.
And how interesting was it when you saw several people here talk about loyalty, talk about integrity, talk about transparency, right? But then being able to take that personality and let's talk about it in its voice. Is it loud? Is it quiet? Is it gentle? Is it kind? How does it come across? And the most fascinating part is now we're taking these and creating visuals. How do you take a visual of integrity? Well, that takes some thought, right? And at the end of the day, the right brand personality is very vulnerable. And we talked about vulnerability, right?
Right.
Vulnerability is being able to show who we are and allowing other people in. And that's a big step.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and going deeper into this, one of the things we did was we listed 6 attributes that embody the founder and the culture or the way your brand relates to its audience. And that is, it sounds easy.
It does.
But
I bet
when
you people left pretty tired.
Right. But when you start listing these out and saying, okay, I've got 6 attributes that I have to define and say that it actually embodies the founder. And one of the things that I was thinking about was it starts with the founder. It starts with the leader.
Sure.
And these attributes, if they don't flow all the way down, there is no way that the leader can not have them and then their team can have them, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And so it's extremely important to get these things right.
How interesting was it to hear people who are here and the agency owners are 80 years old and saying, hey, they're not really into the social, digital, or really the marketing aspect. They've been doing it word of mouth for years, which is great. I'm not saying super successful agents. But this next generation that's going to be taking over find it absolutely critical that we, meaning them, get up to speed in the social and digital world, in the marketing world, if they have a chance to survive.
So let's talk a little bit more about this brand. And what were some other things that you just loved about the brand messaging playbook?
I think there was a really cool section in here, and for those that can see it, that I really appreciated is the playbook content.
The content grid.
The grid, it does it not just, the grid just makes it all come together. Something we will do is maybe below, we'll post a picture of this and be able to show you what this grid looks like. This grid, I think, is key. But what everything came together at the end of the day yesterday, really, is, and there's so many cool things about this, from special sauce, what makes your organization truly unique, right? How hard was that for some people to answer?
Well, yeah, and you're sitting in a room with people who do a lot of the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think we all sell the same thing. That's
right. Right. And so, defining who you are, and also how you can differentiate yourself.
Yeah.
That is tough.
I'm so geeked up today after going through this yesterday. What do? I flip to the next page and I'm like, remember impact points? How does your organization work and make a tangible difference? There were some really cool answers. And why I get geeked up, I'm like, because every step of this gets a little deeper, and it's really exciting to see people really come out of their shell and be able to say, hey, this is who we are.
Right.
Right in front of us.
Yeah, I think there's a convicting point as well.
Yeah.
When you start going through this,
I
you
agree.
start thinking, okay, maybe I haven't worked through this as much as I thought. I mean, we had
What
agents.
did you say to me last night? You said, hey, Chris, do you think you're going to do this? You're darn right I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I don't care that I have a brand guide. I love my brand guide. Our brand guide is a brand Bible. But I think we need to take the next level. The next level of Paradiso Insurance is having each one of our teammates fill this out, because as I'm smiling here, then the page after the impact points comes the mission. What significant purpose fuels your organization and your agency?
This was a tough one.
It was.
It was tough.
Yeah. You actually had to give examples, right?
Yeah. And it was hard for me too. I mean, I'm sitting there trying to pull this out, and I'm thinking, okay, so what is their mission? What are they trying to accomplish? And one of the ways that I tried to explain it, and you can tell me if this wasn't good. I mean, it was kind of on the fly, but it was, okay, if you lost your agency, what would that take away from you? You know, your mission, it might be that your journey found, with Paradiso Presents, right? If we didn't have Paradiso Presents, then we would lose some funds there.
No question. Not only lose funds, I think we lose, I shouldn't say lose. What we have to do is find to redirect that energy into something. If Presents wasn't around, what would I do?
Right.
I would take my energy and find other ways to
Right.
be able to help futurely fund Journey Found.
Right.
Because that's what I'm doing. This money goes to an endowment for one reason, because I believe that we need to have funds for the future to help support people with intellectual disabilities.
So, and what do you think about that question? Do you think that helps dive deeper into your mission? That if you were to lose the agency, I mean, what does it afford you to be able to do? What does it afford you to be able to accomplish? And I don't say afford as in just financially.
No, think about freedom. People would say, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't work 80 hours a week. I do, but the freedom to be able to be at my son's sports game or my daughter's acting class. I may work a lot of hours. Everybody in this industry, if you're successful, works a lot of hours. but it still allows us the I would say financial freedom, because there's very few people who aren't in this industry who aren't financially free. But I think more importantly, it allows us to be free, to be able to do what we want to do with our families.
I
There's a lot of
agree.
freedom.
I think it goes further too, that we as a founder or as a leader, we have a mission, and I think sometimes we stop there and we say, well, it's our mission, but we need to look at the people that we are serving, as in our employees, and say, okay, do they align with this same mission?
In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Every agency is going to have some pros and cons with that, right?
Right.
I mean, we are hiring human beings, and we as human beings make mistakes. We aren't all the same. We're all uniquely different, right?
Think about you did this, and we say this because we literally, I've been going through it ourselves. We've been redefining our messaging. We're continuing to clarify. We are creating more and more content, and we're working to make sure that it's in line with everything that we're doing. And it's difficult, and I don't say difficult as a negative. I mean, it's just it's trying. I mean, it really pushes you to do it the right way. And then bringing this to Chris and being like, okay, this has been phenomenal for us, and I've seen it in the lives of other people, and so this is pretty new to us as well.
It is.
I think about, what if you were to utilize this in the hiring process? Hey, just wanted to let you know, this is who we are.
We use our brand guide,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this would even take it to a whole new level, because I think it even dives a little deeper. How about not only showing them who you are through this, but how about asking them to fill something like this out?
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to understand who they are. Do they align?
Interesting thing is, would they tell the truth?
It'd be interesting.
Well, the key factor is you'd have to have them fill it out before you showed them what your agency or forms are filled out. Because
Yeah, definitely.
then they could very easily put in what they felt in order to get hired, right?
Sure.
But I do think there's aspects to this that could really help each and every one of us hire within our agencies and hire and be more effective.
Sure. So enough about the HR spill, but the content grid, I want to go back to that. So I want to give a vision for everyone on how this actually works. So the content grid, what that is, I'm gonna have to look at it again. But there's multiple different channels in here that we need to focus on. And when we focus and we hit these channels throughout this exercise, we're able to then come back and create content that hits multiple different channels. It's put out brilliantly. And so the first channel is, thank you, the organizational brand. So this channel has things about mission, things about the impact areas. How does your organization make a tangible difference? Special sauce, what makes your organization truly unique? The next one is marketing, themes, target messages, promotions. Audience engagement is the next, and it's asking questions. How can you create questions that attract the attention of your audience? How do you add value? Solving problems. What problem does your organization solve? And
it's deep, man.
Yeah, and then we go into storytelling, which is more about what indicators gauge the success of your. Now that one right there, what indicators gauge the success of your organization?
And did we not hear how many people gauge success differently? I mean,
yeah,
each and every one of us gauge success differently, and we're going to gauge social success differently. Some are going to want likes. Some people are just going to want people to lay eyes on their content because they're brand new to Facebook.
Sure.
Right? Other people who are a little bit more experienced are not only going to say they want likes and comments, we want shares, and we want a massive amount of shares, right? Social success and success as a whole is going to be very unique to each and every agency and each and every member.
And then we go into whimsy, which is the public persona, who should be the spokesperson for the brand. And though we all say, yeah, that's me, whatever, but that's a huge undertaking.
It is.
When you start understanding your brand. And you are not only the one that is speaking the brand and you have the voice, but you have to also audit and you have to maintain that with everyone else and teach it.
Absolutely.
And train people.
That is a lot more complicated, and I think a lot of people might say right off the bat they'll offer themselves up as an owner, as a leader, but we really have to look in the mirror and realize that is a tall task, that is a job, and that is something that's got to be really monitored because it's a big job.
So I think we are about out of time, but if you want to know more about the Brand Messaging Playbook and how you can get your hands on it, also
Call to action plan?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a call, and there's also a call to action plan in this. I mean, this is going to help you in so many different ways. Comment below. Give us your name, your agency, and if you want to shoot us a message on, an email address, we'll definitely get in touch with you and get this over to you so you can look at it. So that's a brain dump.
Brain dump.